It is finally here, the HarmonyOS 7 beta. I think it's the public beta arrived on my Mate 80 Pro Max and it is updating already. I have put some other devices like this device, which is the Mate 70 Air. So it's the Pure X, not the X Max that I'm filming here right now because it's my main device. I don't want to put a beta version on it. But here, this is the first device that will get HarmonyOS 7.0 beta. So let's check it out. So to boot it up, normally I had to give in my password terms I have to agree to, and yeah, just enable all services. And here we come to HarmonyOS. It's just showing HarmonyOS, not even the version number 7.0. Let's click on Let's Go. And so far, same behavior as before. Let's see if we see big difference. This is the version number that it updated to. And so far, lighting effects, yeah, there's a bit of more lighting effect going on there. Here, I think this is a little bit more now. Effect to swipe and change the volume. We had this before as well. Maybe a bit different now with these particles moving. And of course, the screen brightness. Yeah, effects-wise, this is the first things that I noticed here. Ooh, and of course this animation, which is pretty cool. So this brand new version of HarmonyOS 7 has some changes, but not all of the changes that we saw during the demo. For example, dragging something into a folder, it's marking the folder with a red ring there, you might see it, but it doesn't have this immersive effect that we saw in the demo when HarmonyOS 7 was announced. So I can drag it in here. It has a bit of an animation, but it's a more subtle animation than on HarmonyOS 6.1, to be completely honest. And dragging it out there also doesn't have this satisfying animation that we saw before. But yeah, I was saying that the folder was not there. It is there, but actually it only applies for large folders. So if you have a large folder like this and I want to drag something, you see, now we get this little effect here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So it's pulling, let's go back. It's pulling towards the sides there, towards the edges there a little bit. So this new effect is there, but only for large folders. Very, very nice kind of effect. And then you have this. So yeah, wish they would, I think that, yeah, would make more sense to have it also for small folders, like we had it a little bit better, I think, before. There are other things there. Pressing and holding on this clock here in the top left corner reveals now, with a bit of feedback, if you nail it, reveals now also the seconds there and keeps it up for a few minutes, I think. But you can also press and hold again longer in it and it will go away. So this is a nice thing. Then in terms of effects, I think there is a subtle effect difference here. And also the icons got a lot crisper. You will see it here on Android icons. They have a little bit of more of an outline there and a bit of more three-dimensionality. I think they're popping out a little bit more than on the older version. This is what I definitely noticed. Then we have a nice feature here for everyone who's like dragging icons into a folder like so. Let's drag all of them for inside of here. No, I don't want to start this. And what we have now here is this folder. I can open up apps if I want to, but I can press and hold longer and I can say ungroup. And if I ungroup, the folder is getting away and all the icons are dragged out. So this is a nice new functionality that we have here. And then animation-wise, it's getting a little bit smoother. Those animations are a lot smoother, a bit faster maybe as well. It is definitely something that I noticed, that it's getting a lot smoother opening and closing animations here. That is quite a good thing, I think. And yeah, we have some of the changes here in the changelog that I have in my gallery. One of those is when I press the volume key and volume up, you notice what happens to the volume animation. It swipes in from where you press, and when I press again, repeatedly, it's jumping a little bit. So this is a bit of an iOS kind of situation that we have here. Talking about iOS situation, when I have, for example, Telegram here and I want to open up a link, you will see it will open up not in Telegram itself, it will open up a Chrome browser in this case. This is now running in the Android container, by the way. I click on open and notice what happens there in the top left corner. It is giving me the option to return to Telegram by just clicking here. So this is really an iOS kind of situation, a moment that we have there. iOS does the same thing when you switch from one app to another by opening something up. Talking about the Android container and Android runtime, there's an update for DroidTalk. I didn't get one for Easy Abroad yet. I think it's still in beta eventually. But what I can tell you immediately is when we check out the device info here in the Easy Abroad container, that we now have, you saw it shortly, Android 16 runtime there. So this is Baklava. And you see released June 11, 2025. Yes, okay, a year old already. But yes, it is, you see here, codename Android 16 API level 36, released with Android 12. I'm not sure what this means, but security level patch is June 2025. Anyway, yeah, it has now Android 16 support. You see it in certain locations. For example, I noticed it immediately on X here, or Twitter, as I don't like this new trend of this kind of pictures that you press there. It's like bombarding my timer. But you see it here already. We have a slight and subtle transparent effect that was before was not available. This transparent effect there also on the bottom, you see. This transparent effect was not available, at least in X. And it's not the X version here because I tried to install the same X version on the Pure X Max that still has HarmonyOS 6.1 and other devices, and it doesn't have this effect. So yes, the new Android runtime brought us this kind of effect. And I noticed that the applications are running a little bit more smoother. I didn't check the frame rate count, but I could imagine that the frame rate is getting a little bit up. The other thing, some people might ask, hey, YouTube, there was like a claim that YouTube support is now getting to 4K or even 8K support. Not yet. I think Easy Abroad needs an update for this to be able to do this. So this is now the official YouTube app. Let's get the volume down there because of advertisements. Yeah, who's paying for YouTube Premium? I mean, let's get it out of there. Skip 8K, and you see that when I go into settings here and advanced, the only thing that I can set it up to is 1080p 60 frames per second, but not higher. So I guess it needs an Easy Abroad update still in order to get this going. Same goes for if I go into streaming and Netflix. Netflix installed here. There was also the promise that this might get White Wine Level 1 support. When we go in here and I go into, where is it actually? I think it's hiding here now. I'm changing it every few versions. Specifications, you can see it's still L3. It doesn't have HD support or something. It might be that I have to reinstall it, but I doubt it. I think it needs an update of Easy Abroad, and I can maybe check out if Easy Abroad is under early access here already available. There's Bilibili, some other apps, video platform app, but I don't see that yet. So it might be that it's not available yet. Normal updates, these are the last updates that I got. So no, it's not there. So yes, we have some improvements there in terms of Android applications and application support with the inclusion of the Android 16 runtime support. But I didn't notice much of a difference in terms of like 4K support for YouTube, HDR support, or even Netflix White Wine support. Another positive thing that I noticed is that the battery icon now finally also on the AOD has changed to this kind of style, which is much easier to read than the old style. I can show you the old style running on my Pure X Max here, which yeah, is super hard to read. Another thing they talked about is the weather app, and this seems to be still the old weather app. It doesn't have this new 3D kind of effect. It's still a beautiful weather app, and if you think that it's the let's go to Guangzhou, for example, if it's a city, nope, it's not a city. You see, yeah, it's like dark there, but still 25 degrees. And here we have a bit of 24 degrees. It's very similar, but it's just like still a bit of daytime here. It doesn't have this new nice animation yet. So I think because we're still in the early beta phase, this is the reason why we don't get this new weather app yet. Let's talk about the calendar because we have several new features. I like this feature of sync Celia events. Similar what ColorOS is already doing is when it detects automatically an appointment for a specific time in your emails, it can automatically sync them up to your calendar and provide them here as a calendar event. Another thing in the calendar is the possibility to import new events, and we now have also an add email account event and import from URL where you can just paste in the URL to your ICS calendar file. But email account is quite interesting because it allows us to add an exchange account in here, and this would then download all the events. I did not try the Google Calendar here yet because I cannot, because I already have an email account with Google. So I don't have the possibility to add it here because it says it's already there. I doubt it would like import the events from here. And talking about the ColorF account, you can add it here like before. I didn't see any differences. So that means my Nextcloud account is syncing only one way. I don't have the possibility to sync over my events, new events that I create to my CalDAV Nextcloud. Like here, I can only save it to my calendar, but I cannot upload this to or save it to my Nextcloud calendar, which is still a big bummer. I hope that Huawei will add the possibility to upload also some events to my Nextcloud CalDAV account. The contact app greeted me with a set contact card as image. I can try it now and then can set up like an image for from the gallery for specific users here that can call me. I can edit my card and have the ability for a user here, for example, to add a ringtone. There are some other specialties as well available. Like for example, for each of those contacts, I have the ability to set, let me edit, set the SIM card if I have multiple SIM cards to use to call this contact, which is quite interesting. So this is quite an interesting kind of feature here. And also it allows us merging contacts with the same phone number but different names eventually. This is now also possible here, so it makes this a little bit more handleable for people that have lots and lots of contacts. And of course, just for animation lovers here with the dark theme, this animation of removing those notifications, it's just pretty cool. So basically that's it of the new features that I found. But one thing I wanted to show you, this is the Mate 70 Air. This one historically has, it's also running 7.0 now, the same version here. Historically had less effects, so you can go into home screen and style effect, and you can also choose strong. But this strong effect with this other process, you see already, it's less glassy, and the default one is less, yeah, it doesn't have this effect. However, if you go to X, for example, again, it has this semi-transparency here on X. So you see it a bit there on the top as well. So the new Android runtime is also there on board, and it's running super fluid as well. A lot fluider than it has been running earlier. So this is something that I noticed immediately also for older devices or older SOC devices. This one here will run also pretty smooth and faster than 6.1. In general, I'm looking forward for 7.0. I hope that the newer betas maybe will bring maybe some more visual effects here and there and some tweaks and changes like the calendar app, please. CalDAV syncing up to the CalDAV might be also a feature that I really like and wish them to have. Otherwise, NFC payments, I told you already, is working. I didn't notice much of a difference right now because I had already with 6.1 working now also Curve, PayPal, and my local Sparkasse app here in Germany with NFC payments working without any issues. What's missing still is Netflix White Wine Level 1 support, as well as YouTube 4K HDR support, something that has been promised by Easy Abroad. by integrating probably Gbox. X currently is integrated via Gbox. It's a workaround, it's a test, it's working fine. Has some visual differences because you see when I minimize the X icon, it's not minimizing to the folder icon actually, because it's like running via Gbox there. But it might be a good workaround if you need HDR 4K support on YouTube or white wine level 1 on Netflix. But yeah, we have to see if trial update for the beta 7 now will bring this to us, because it is not released yet and the update itself did not bring it yet. That's everything for this video. If you noticed something that I missed completely that is super top and super good, because I read the changelog 2 times. There are a few other little features. Me time has been updated. I'm never using me time, so cannot really talk about it. And some little tweaks here and there are there as well. But if you notice something very important that is working now, that makes this very special, write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And hit like and subscribe for this late hour video that I'm doing and cutting still today, so you get the newest update, the fastest and quickest as possible, in English even. That's it. Until the next time. Bye.